Here we are in the middle of winter, mid-February, still too early to plant seeds. What's a poor gardener going to do? Do you have an old aquarium or a fish tank sitting around? Judging by the rate they recycle through garage sales, there are lots around. That dried up aquarium has one more use before you dispose of it. Why not move on from agriculture to horticulture? Turn your fish tank into a terrarium for plants. Create a miniature garden. Plants are far less work than a hamster, and they smell better. Here we have what I guess was once a goldfish bowl or a mini aquarium, and this should make a nice little terrarium. And first thing you have to ask is it going to be a closed one, which means it's going to be high humidity, suitable for typical houseplants, small houseplants that you wouldn't put in the bright sun, just a bright indirect light would be suitable. The alternative is an open one, and in that you could plant little succulents that like a drier environment. I prefer the houseplants myself. Succulents work, but they sometimes, if it gets a little humid in there, then it can affect them. So here's how we prepare the container to be your terrarium. It's often recommended that you put gravel in the bottom. It really isn't necessary. All the gravel does is reduce the depth of soil that you have. The water doesn't pool in there because there shouldn't be enough water in there that it does go into the gravel. It should be just nice, light potting soil, nicely moist. Now we'll begin adding some soil to our little fish tank here. Try not to scatter it too much. It's going to bounce up all over the side, then you'll have to clean it off, which we can do. Nice and light and fluffy. And depending on the size of the container, you can sort of contour it. You can have little hills and valleys. We start out with this kind of level here. We'll put the little African violet in to start with. Little squish to the pot and it should fall out. Here's how you do it. You take the pot and you make a hole like that. And then you just, done. How about the little, now someone's going to say these colors clash, but I kind of like it. Try not to have the leaves touching the sides of the container. If they do, they can get a little too moist and they look like wet cornflakes. Yeah, let's put some gravel in there. There's loads of little stream bed. I've adapted my watering can with a little plastic hose to make it easier to water a terrarium. The soil was pre-moistened somewhat, but you do have to water once in a while, but it's important not to get water over the leaves, especially African violets. So with a little tube I can poke it right down into the terrarium. As for fertilizing, go easy. Newly purchased plants will have been fertilized by their grower, but when it comes time to fertilize, use it diluted to about a tenth of the strength you'd use for regular houseplants. Any questions? Email me at garden@gto.net. I'm David Hobson for therecord.com.